You picked up your phone before you finished reading this sentence. Maybe you didn't even notice. Maybe you told yourself you were just checking the time, but your thumb was already moving before the thought fully formed. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you already know this happens dozens of times a day, maybe hundreds. But here's the thing. This is not a willpower problem. It's not laziness. It's not a character flaw. The real reason you can't stop checking your phone has nothing to do with the phone at all. It goes back hundreds of thousands of years. And once you understand it, you will never look at your screen the same way again. Your brain is ancient. Not metaphorically, literally ancient. The core architecture running underneath your thoughts right now was shaped by millions of years of survival pressure. Researchers like neuroscientist David Eagleman have spent careers showing that the vast majority of what your brain does happens below the level of conscious awareness. You are not the pilot of your mind. You are closer to a passenger, and the pilot was built for a world that no longer exists. Here is what that world looked like. Imagine yourself on an open grassland. No walls, no roof, no predictable source of food. The horizon stretches in every direction. You are surrounded by animals that can kill you, rival groups that might steal from you, and an environment that changes without warning. In this world, the single most dangerous thing you can do is stop paying attention. Missing a signal meant death. A rustle in the grass, a shift in the wind, a sound that didn't belong. Your ancestors who ignored those signals didn't survive long enough to become your ancestors. The ones who made it were the ones who could not stop scanning, could not stop checking, could not rest in a state of pure calm because calm got you killed. That drive is still in you, right now, fully intact. Psychologists call it hypervigilance by default. Your nervous system is not designed for stillness. It is designed for constant environmental monitoring. Every few minutes, without being told to, your attention pulls outward. It looks for change. It looks for signals. It looks for anything new that might matter. For 200,000 years, that impulse kept your species alive. Then someone put a glowing rectangle in your hand that produces new signals every 30 seconds. The match was perfect. Too perfect. Dr. Anna Lembke, a psychiatrist at Stanford University and author of Dopamine Nation, explains that the modern smartphone is, from your brain's point of view, the most signal-rich environment that has ever existed in human history. Every notification, every new post, every unread message is a potential piece of information. And your ancient brain cannot tell the difference between a message from a friend and a rustling in the grass. Both are signals, both might matter. Both trigger the same response. Check, scan, assess, repeat. The dopamine system sits at the center of this loop, and it is widely misunderstood. Most people think dopamine is about pleasure. It is not. Dopamine researcher Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan spent years separating what he calls wanting from liking. Liking is the actual pleasure of an experience. Wanting is the drive to seek it out. Dopamine controls wanting, not liking. It is the chemical of anticipation, of craving, of the moment just before the reward arrives. This is critical, because your phone does not need to make you feel good to keep you checking it. It only needs to make you want to check it. And it does that effortlessly. Every time you pick up your phone and find something interesting, your dopamine system logs that as a successful scan. Environment checked. Signal found. Reward received. The next time your attention drifts, the pull is slightly stronger. But what happens when you check and find nothing? You check again. This is called a variable reward schedule. It was identified decades ago by behavioral psychologist B.F. Skinner, who discovered that the most addictive reward pattern is not constant and it is not absent. It is unpredictable. Sometimes you check and find something interesting, sometimes you don't. The unpredictability is the engine. Your brain cannot habituate to a pattern it cannot predict, so it keeps coming back, keeps scanning, keeps hoping the next check will be the one that pays off. Las Vegas was built on this principle. So was your notifications tab. And here is where it gets stranger, more uncomfortable. The same drive that pulls you back to your phone is the same drive that once made you an extraordinary social animal. Because out on that grassland, the signals that mattered most were not from predators. They were from other people. Human beings survived not because they were the fastest or the strongest. They survived because they were the most socially connected. Your ancestors tracked facial expressions, tone of voice, subtle shifts in group dynamics. Who was angry? Who was leaving? Who was forming a new alliance? Social information was survival information. Missing a social signal could cost you your place in the group, and without the group, you died alone. Your phone is a social signal machine. Every message is a data point about your standing in a relationship. Every like is a small piece of feedback about your social value. Every post you scroll past is a status update from someone in your extended social network. Your brain processes all of it with the same machinery it used to read the faces around the fire. The stakes feel real because your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a text left unread and a tribe member who has gone silent. Psychologist Matthew Lieberman at UCLA has shown through neuroimaging that social pain activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. Being socially excluded, even digitally, even briefly, registers in your body the way a wound does. This is not dramatic. This is biology. Your brain treats disconnection as danger, so it keeps you checking, not to entertain you, to protect you. But there is a cost. The scanning loop was designed for a world of intermittent signals, a world where most of the time the environment was quiet and you only needed to spike into alertness when something changed. Your nervous system was built to rest between checks, to drop out of high alert mode and recover. The phone removes the quiet. There is no between anymore. There is always another notification, always another scroll, always another reason to stay in scan mode. And a nervous system that cannot return to rest is a nervous system under chronic stress. Research from the American Psychological Association has found that heavy smartphone users report significantly higher baseline anxiety than light users. Not because the content is frightening, but because the body never gets the signal that the environment is safe. The scan never ends, so the alarm never turns off. You are not addicted to your phone because you are weak. You are caught in a feedback loop that was built using the most precise map of human psychology ever assembled, pointed directly at the oldest and most fundamental drives in your brain. The engineers who designed these systems understood variable reward schedules, they understood social monitoring instincts, they understood dopaminergic wanting loops. They did not build these features by accident, they built them because they worked. Because they matched something ancient that already lived in you. So what do you do with this? The first thing is simply to see it clearly. The pull you feel when your phone is face down and silent is not weakness. It is your ancient brain doing exactly what it was built to do. Scanning, checking, looking for signals that might matter. That instinct kept your ancestors alive for 200,000 years. It is not broken. It is just being aimed at the wrong target. Some researchers suggest building deliberate gaps. Not to fight the instinct, but to redirect it. Scheduled phone checks instead of constant availability. A 10-minute break with no device as a signal to your nervous system that the environment is, in fact, safe. That no signal is still information. That silence does not mean danger. It sounds simple, and it is. But simple does not mean easy, because the pull is not coming from your phone. It is coming from something much older and much deeper. Something that once lived on an open grassland and never stopped watching the horizon. The next time you feel the urge to check your phone and there is no real reason to, stop for 1 second. Notice it. Feel the pull. Recognize it for what it is. That is not a notification. That is your ancient brain, still scanning the grassland, still looking for signals that might save your life. The grassland is gone. But the brain that learned to survive it is still right there. Behind your eyes, pulling your thumb toward the screen before you even know you've moved.